Hi, my name is Father Carlos Martins. I've brought some special things with me today. I brought relics of the saints, which are currently set up in the gym. And a relic is anything that belonged to a saint. And we believe that when a saint becomes a saint, so a saint is anybody who becomes a friend of God, part of God's holiness enters into this saint, and that holiness transforms the saint from the inside out. And when a saint dies, we believe that part of the spirit of the saint remains behind in the objects that belonged to the saint. So we call those objects relics. And a relic is anything that belonged to a saint, such as a piece of clothing, anything a saint used, like a pen or a book, and especially the holy body of the saint. And almost all of the relics that are set up in the gym today are a piece of the saint's body. A tiny fragment, bone chip of the saint has been placed inside the reliquary. And the church does this. It places relics inside fancy gold reliquaries because God likes to heal in the presence of the saints. And so we hear about, for example, in the Old Testament, in the second book of Kings, that a man had died and was being buried, and he was being buried in a grave where the prophet Elisha had previously been buried. And the way they buried people in those days is they dug a very deep hole into the earth, and they carved shelves on the sides of that hole. And they would, every time somebody died, they would place the body on a new shelf until the grave was full, and they would close off that grave and dig a new one. Well, accidentally, as they were lowering the man into the grave, his body came into contact with the bones of the prophet Elisha. And it says the dead man came back to life and rose to his feet. In the New Testament, we hear about St. Paul the Apostle being so holy that whenever he would walk down the street, people would touch him with cloths and then lay those cloths on the sick, and it says their diseases would leave them, and if they had any evil spirits, they would depart from them. One saint in particular whose relic is here is Saint Joseph Cupertino. So his reliquary is in my hand here. So this is a reliquary. A relic holds a relic inside it, and the relic is emplaced inside a locket that is sitting behind the window of the reliquary. And Joseph is significant because he is the patron saint of students. Every saint has a special task for which he or she is to pray for in heaven. Joseph's special task is patronage, is what we call it. Joseph's patronage is students. He is the patron saint of students. And so from the first day that you enter kindergarten, he has been praying for you. And how this came about is Joseph found it very difficult to be a student. And in fact, no matter how hard he tried throughout his whole life, he was never able to learn how to read. Now, if he were alive today, he would be diagnosed, I'm certain, with what we call a learning disability. Try as he did, he was never able to learn how to read. If he were alive today, I'm certain he would be diagnosed with a learning disability. And so Joseph, though, he did not allow his difficulty in learning to interfere with his relationship with God. And in fact, when he would pray, he'd pray so deeply that he would begin to lift up into the air. And people would come in the room and they would find him floating up against the ceiling. And Joseph didn't understand what all the commotion was about when he would pray, because when he would pray so deeply, he wasn't even aware that he was floating. And so by the time he would be done praying, he would already be back down on the ground. And so eventually he was acknowledged as being one of the holiest people on earth, and people would travel from all over the world in order to be blessed by him. So his relic is among the over 100 that are present in the gym. What you're going to find is with each reliquary, there is an information card, and that information card lists the name of the saint. Immediately beneath the name, it tells you what kind of relic is in the reliquary. It tells you the saint's feast day. It tells you the story of the saint's birthday, the day that the saint died, and the saint's patronages, all of the special things for which that saint has the task to pray. And so as you go around, read about the saint, learn about the saint, and see if you can find a saint that shares your birthday, or whose feast day is on your birthday. And that could be a very special saint, a personal patron that you can adopt for yourself. And as you go around, you will be able to touch all of the relics that are there. The ones on the blue table, you are welcome to pick them up. You can bless yourselves with them. The only thing I ask is that the relics that are not on a blue table, the ones on the gold, that you not pick up. They're very heavy and very fragile. I'm worried they may fall and get damaged. You may touch them. You may touch anything in the room, in the gym, but I would just ask you to not pick up what is on the two gold tables. Your job today is to tell your family and friends that tonight at 6:30 in the church there will be a special presentation for them, and then afterwards the gym will open up and they can also view the relics at that time. Hope you have a wonderful day, and may the saints be with you.